Friends, every week at Khooni Monday, we pour our hearts into crafting spine-chilling animated horror stories for you. If you're enjoying our tales, subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon for the latest video notifications. Summer holidays bring a unique thrill, schools close, and adventure beckons. This story unfolds during such a break in 1998, where 16-year-old Nisha and her 13-year-old brother Aman were eager to visit their grandparents after a decade. Their grandparents lived in a secluded village in the Yorkshire Dales, in an ancient manor surrounded by sprawling fields, plagued by frequent power cuts. It was their first trip without parents, and after a long train journey, they stepped onto the quiet Blackwood station, spotting their grandparents and rushing toward them with their bags. The grandparents looked familiar yet frail, wrapped in shawls despite the warm summer air, their eyes hollow and smiles unnaturally stiff, though Nisha and Aman, lost in excitement, didn't notice. The car ride was filled with their train stories, while the grandparents nodded silently, their gazes lingering through the rearview mirror. An hour's drive led them to the sprawling, dilapidated Blackwood Manor, its weathered stone walls and wild overgrowth suggesting neglect, isolated with no nearby homes. Night fell, cloaking the area in darkness, and a creaky rocking chair swayed on the veranda without wind. Aman joked it was a horror film set, and they laughed. Inside, a rancid stench lingered, blamed by their grandmother on the fields amid sepia-toned photos and creaky wooden furniture. At dinner, the grandparents sat but didn't eat, repeatedly expressing joy at the children's visit, which felt odd but was dismissed as longing. Retiring to their large room, where only darkness and tall grass peeked through the window, they slept after their grandfather's warning to stay indoors due to nighttime wildlife sounds. The next 2 days were routine. Nisha sketched by the window, Aman listened to his Walkman on an old swing, and the grandparents left daily for field work, returning at night. A broken landline cut off contact with their parents, and strange habits emerged. The grandparents never ate, once excusing a fridge's red liquid as a family recipe, their laughter and grandfather's vacant staring unnerving the siblings, attributed to age. One night, Nisha awoke to a noise outside, spotting a large shadow under the door. Ignoring the warning, she crept out, the stench intensifying as a dragging sound unlike any animal emerged. Before she could investigate, her grandmother's cold hand gripped her shoulder, her pale face and forced smile freezing Nisha, who retreated, sleepless with growing dread. The next morning, the grandparents acted normal, leaving for the fields. That afternoon, Aman, doing homework on the swing, heard children's laughter inside, spotting a boy's shadow through the window, but found only Nisha. Searching, he saw a sepia photo in the drawing room with the grandparents' eyes bleeding, which normalized when Nisha checked. Sharing her ordeal, they grew terrified. With 3 rooms, the grandparents' upstairs room, always locked, reeked of decay. Using keys, they unlocked it. Finding 2 rotting bodies, Nisha recognized her grandmother's locket. Before they could process this, children's voices echoed, leading them to accidentally open a secret room behind a bookshelf. Too afraid to enter, they hesitated until the voices called their names, drawing them into the dark space. A faint white light revealed a pile of skulls, a ritual fire pit, and disturbing drawings of a creature with long, sharp claws and teeth, clear signs of black magic. As they stared, the voices turned to screams, urging them to run away. Terrified, they fled as dusk fell. Realizing the imposters weren't their grandparents, they planned to escape before their return. Rushing downstairs, the front door wouldn't budge, so they headed to the back. In the kitchen, they saw the imposters resembling their grandparents feasting like beasts on something unidentifiable. The red pot nearby, their faces bloodied, with long, yellow fangs and black claws matching the drawings. Nisha's grandmother's head snapped toward them, her eyes white voids, emitting a feral growl. They bolted out the back door, the swing rocking violently, a metallic blood scent in the air. Hearing crawling and growling behind, they ran blindly, reaching a remote chapel. Inside, they clung together, crying as an old man approached, asking why they were in the woods at night. Growls from outside prompted him to bar the doors, leading them to an inner room. He dialed the police, assuring safety, and explained that the imposters, Sumitra and Sushil, once a childless couple from a nearby village, turned to black magic after failed treatments, vanishing into the woods for a ritual, returning as neither human nor beast, able to mimic forms, preying on children. The skulls were their victims. As the imposters scratched the window, their bloodied faces snarling, the priest calmed them, noting the chapel's protective spells. Police arrived after the growls ceased, the creatures fleeing. At the manor, police found bodies and skeletons, sending Nisha and Aman to hospital, unharmed physically but traumatized. That night, they escaped the monsters, but the question lingers: who might these fiends haunt next? If you enjoyed this summer holiday horror, subscribe to Khooni Monday for weekly scares, with part 2 on our Spotify podcast. Tune into the horror show by Khooni Monday, links below.